What's up and welcome back to my channel. It's JVceo. If you're tuning in for the first time, you are going to subscribe because this channel has a lot of content that you're probably going to like. Anyways, today I'm going to talk about silver. It's one of my recent sort of investment strategies that I've incorporated into my portfolio. I'm big on diversifying your portfolio. So if property isn't working, stocks is working. If stocks isn't working, precious metal is working. If precious metal isn't working, something else is working. The business isn't working. Diversifying. That way, it's very hard to fail across all your portfolios. Some might be green this month, one might be red, but at least you keep a balanced portfolio. And that's what this is about. So, how did I get into this? What was the idea? I actually have looked at it previously, but never really thought much about it. Unfortunately, we come from an environment where some of these are not really explained to us. We're not educated about some of these things. So I never even knew that that was a thing. I mean, back in like Forex days, yes, we'll trade the gold charts and all of that stuff. But in terms of investing in the physical version, never really saw that as a thing. But anyways, about a month ago, I had a word with my mate. We talked about it. I looked at the chart and I thought, wow, this could be something great. And also, actually, I looked at rhodium, and I figured out that like 2 years ago, a kilo of rhodium, an ounce of rhodium was around $1,000, and then literally within a 2-year period, it had gone up to like $15,000. So like if you had bought a couple of those, if you had bought, let's say 10,000's worth, you'd have made 150 grand just like that, you know. But again, that's rhodium, and that's unheard of in precious metal, right? But that's not still to say that you couldn't invest in these today and reap the benefits in 10 years and 15 years and 20 years. Right, so before we go into looking at the actual silver contents, let me explain to you the reasons behind investing in silver. I think the first reason for me is this beats deflation. So if I took 100,000 and I saved 100,000 in my bank account, in 10, 20 years time, I wouldn't be able to use that 100,000 to buy 100,000's worth of goods in 20 years time, if that makes any sense. So the 100,000 would probably be worth a lot lower in 20 years than what it is now, if that makes any sense. It'll probably be worth, who knows, 20,000. But now, once you start investing in certain sort of assets, you know that you beat that, and you know that your money would at least, even if it doesn't appreciate, would not depreciate, if that makes any sense. So that was one of the reasons why I got into this. The second reason why I got into it was to diversify my portfolio and not be too one-sided in terms of just stocks and property. So I thought, cool, add something else to it. The third reason why I got into it, I would say, would be the current state of the economy right now. So right now, there's a whole bunch of quantitative easing, and I do think that in future, maybe in the near future, the dollar might be losing its sort of strength and its position as, you know, as the top currency. And I think that people may start going back to the precious metal, whether that's gold, whether that's silver. And obviously, as you know, gold and silver sort of correlate and work hand in hand. And that would potentially push the precious metal sector up. So that's why I thought, invest in it. And now some of you are probably thinking, hold on, you could have just traded it and bought it, you know, bought the actual paper version of silver, paper version of gold. It's not the same. It's not the same. In fact, I've been doing a lot of research, and I'm of the view that in future, the paper version silver and the physical version would actually deviate, and they're no more going to correlate. So that's that. Right. So let's start from there now. How do you actually even start buying silver? Because at the end of this video, I want you guys to be educated. That was the whole point of doing this video. So how do you actually start buying silver? First things first, there's something called a spot price, right? So a spot price is how much it's trading for in terms of the actual silver. That's how much it's probably coming out of the ground for. It's rare that you actually pay the spot price for silver. And for anything, as a matter of fact, any precious metal. Because in addition to the spot price, when they mine these precious metals out of the ground, there's obviously a premium attached to it. The premium to refine it and get it into this lovely looking bar, as you see now. All those premiums and potential VATs and all of that stuff would usually push it up. So, I'll give you a perfect example. For this, in case you guys are wondering, when I bought this, the spot price was around £650. But with VAT and premiums and all of that stuff, I ended up paying, I think, $870 for this bar. Now, this bar today has actually dipped because obviously silver is trading lower than when I bought it. I would have bought this bar for around, if I was buying it today, I would have bought it for around £770, so £100 cheaper. Which, if I'm honest with you, I've ordered more. I've ordered another 10 bars. Well, I ordered collectively another 10 bars, but we'll get into that later on. So that's that. So that's how much I paid for it. So now you're thinking, hold on, that's a lot more than the spot price. That's why I would say it's only sort of feasible if you're doing it for the long term. If you're in it for the short term, it might not be the best investment. You're probably better off going into gold, because with gold, there's not there's no VAT on gold. You still pay a premium, but then there's no VAT. So that means you'll be saving all but 20%, if that makes any sense, because I've paid an extra 20% on top, which is allocated to the VAT. So that's the first thing you've got to know, which is a spot price. The second thing you've got to know is how do you want to take delivery of your actual silver bar. For the purpose of this video, I'll talk strictly silver. How do you want to take delivery of your silver bar? So generally speaking, there are ways of avoiding the VAT on a silver bar. That would mean potentially asking the company you buy it from to store it for you. So they can actually store your silver bars for you for a very small fee, a very small annual fee. So if you do this, then that's one way of navigating paying VAT on the silver. At the moment, silver is currently trading at around £18.69, which is around, how many dollars is that? That's around $25.99. So that's what it's trading at. My average for this, I believe it's around $35. That's my average for this. Right, so before actually investing in this, I had a good look. Right, and I think that potentially silver is about to go on a mammoth run, and I'll tell you that for a number of reasons. The applications of silver moving forward is going to get huge. So we're going into the era of EV vehicles. We're going into the era of solar. We're going into the era of more technology, more devices, and all these things that I'm mentioning all have a very common component, that being silver. So what does that tell you? Supply and demand. That's number one. Number two, there are more technical things that I'll try and avoid in this video, just so I don't confuse you guys too much. But there will be a potential squeeze on the paper versions of silver, and a lot of these companies, institutions, will be looking to, essentially speaking, leverage their paper positions by actually buying physical silver, and that's only going to lead to an even tighter squeeze and have silver going up. So that's that. And like I said, you've got all the new applications of silver. There will be more EV vehicles coming up. You've got all these EV companies, popping up. They all need silver. They're all going to be hoarding silver. So that's that. And then we're going into an era of awareness as well. A lot more people are becoming aware in terms of how to secure their finances, how to secure their wealth. And I think that only more people, or in future, I think that more people would literally just be jumping towards silver. And if you look at the silver charts over the last sort of, let's say from 1984 to now, you would see that on, I might be wrong, but I can't pull up the charts now. I try, but it's not letting me. But anyways, you could see that in 1984, silver went all the way up to, I think, $49 an ounce. And then it dipped back down, and then it dipped back down to, I think, around $3 an ounce or $5 an ounce. And then in 2011, it went all the way up to $49 again, and then it dipped back down to around, I think, $10 an ounce. So that tells you that there's a ceiling at the moment. There's a very strong resistance point at $49 a piece. So there's one or two things that could happen. Silver could, and by the way, at the bottom side of it, it's clearly created a higher high, or higher low, sorry. So it went back down to $3, and then the next time around, it went back down to like $10. So that's a higher low, right? So there's one or two things that could happen. Silver is going to go and retest $49 again. If it breaks it, silver is off, it's gone, and eventually silver will get into triple digits, that being over $100 an ounce. So from where I've purchased it from at $35, that would represent a gain of 300%. Correct? Yeah, 300%. Oh, sorry, 200%, should I say? 200% profit. So that's that. The other thing that could happen is silver could go all the way to $49, and it would hit the resistance line, and it would create yet another higher low. Maybe go back down to, like, who knows, $20 an ounce, which would signify a higher low compared to what it's been the other few years. So that's that anyways. At the moment, it's all speculation and all sort of chart reading, but I genuinely think that silver is heading upwards of $49, and I would say that is probably in the next sort of 18 months. And I think once it goes above $49 and sits above it comfortably, it would now use the $49 as a supporting line. And I think from there on, silver is gone. Silver is gone. If you look at forecasts and stuff, I mean, there's so many forecasts out there online. There's some saying that silver would hit $370 an ounce, which is just crazy, you know, $370 an ounce, which is crazy. There are 32.15 ounces in 1 kilo of silver. This is 1 kilo. This is a kilo bar. So that's that anyways. But I thought, you know, the best way for this channel to grow is by me sharing some of the things I'm doing. So one of them being silver stacking. At the moment, I've probably got around £12,000 worth of silver, actually, and also platinum, because I've bought platinum as well. But platinum's really low at the moment. But I have around £12,000 worth of silver. My target is to scale into £100,000 worth of silver. Like I said, there's so many silver applications in the near future, and I think that the silver game is the rally is only starting. At the moment, silver is relatively very cheap, and especially if you look at, you know, the sort of gold silver ratio, which is another indicator for when to buy silver. If the gold silver ratio is high, or silver gold ratio is high, then essentially speaking you want to buy silver. Then if it's low, then essentially speaking you want to buy gold then. So, you know, that's that for me. At the moment, I think the gold silver ratio is like $65. Oh, sorry, yeah, 65 to 1. So basically 65 ounces of silver will buy you an ounce of gold. Previously, it's gone as high as 114. Unfortunately, I didn't know about silver then. Otherwise, I'd have bought for a lot, you know. But that's that for me anyways. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to do more of these sorts of videos, let me know and I will. I'll try and make it more concise next time. But yeah, I just thought I'd introduce this as a new sort of video on the channel, and in future we'll talk more silver. Thank you for watching.